The two latest episodes of Doctor Who, Space Babies and The Devil's Chord brought about a lot of fan theories. And in today's video, I want to go over the most interesting one and explain why I think it's pretty plausible. In the two episodes, there's a lot of references to Gallifrey, to the Time Lords, to the Timeless Child, and the genocide of the Time Lords caused by the Master. And in one of these scenes, we hear the Doctor mention his granddaughter Susan, and there's heavy emphasis put on this scene.
Who is she?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
Time Lords were murdered. Genocide rolled across time and space like a great big cellular explosion. Maybe it killed her too.
In this scene, there is heavy emphasis on his granddaughter and the genocide of the Time Lords. Throughout these two episodes, there are lots of references to the Time Lords, to Gallifrey, and how the Doctor truly feels, undercut by motifs from previous songs in New Who that feature the Time Lords, which are a lot more emotional. It's pretty clear that it feels like they're setting something up. But from that scene and how the show is dealing with the genocide of the Time Lords and Gallifrey, some theories have arisen. From the same episode The Devil's Chord and a previous special The Giggle, there was a reference to a character called the One Who Waits.
Only one player I didn't dare face. The One Who Waits.
Who's that?
I saw it, hiding, and I ran.
What do you mean?
That's someone else's game.
Now, how the basic outline of this theory goes is that the One Who Waits, who the Toymaker and the Maestro reference, is actually Susan Foreman, the granddaughter of the Doctor. Now, some people are making the connection here because Susan was not only emphasized a lot in this episode, but as well, she was left by the Doctor to have a happily ever after, and a lot of people theorized that maybe she was waiting for the Doctor to return. Of course, we see her in the 5 Doctor special, and we see her in a lot of expanded media, but this would make sense for a television appearance. Throughout the past few episodes, a link has been made to a reoccurring character that we saw in Wild Blue Yonder, the Christmas special, and these two episodes, and that we see in the rest of this season. It's a reoccurring character that a lot of people think is the One Who Waits, which in this instance would be Susan Foreman. Now, a lot of people believe that if she is the One Who Waits, that she became the big bad because the Doctor left her behind, which is something I don't agree with. We've seen her in plenty of spin-off media, and we've seen her in the 5 Doctors. I don't agree with that, and I think it would retcon too much. However, I have my own theory for this. Just wait a second. Some people debate whether Susan Foreman is a fully fledged Time Lord or if she's just a Gallifreyan. And in this theory, I think she is a fully fledged Time Lord. I think she was meant to be eradicated by the Master's genocide of the Time Lords, but somehow escaped and survived. And she is jealous and angry and bent up with rage the fact that the Doctor wasn't there to help her or help the other Time Lords to escape. And I reckon this is her motivation for being the big bad. Yes, this may seem a little far-fetched, but hang on, I feel like this gets a bit more believable. We hear in Space Babies and The Devil's Chord a hell of a lot about the genocide of the Time Lords committed by the Master, and I don't think that's just a thing to set up the Doctor's backstory. They could have done that with one line or a couple of lines, or maybe just even one talk in the first episode. They didn't have to keep bringing it up and put a lot of emphasis on it. I think they're setting it up as one of the main reasons and motivators for Susan being the big bad. This theory also explains how this mystery person, who we are assuming is the One Who Waits, is getting about and getting to different parts in the universe and history. Maybe if it is Susan Foreman, she has a TARDIS. Susan being the One Who Waits would be an incredible payoff for long-time Whovians and also be good for brand new fans. It would give an emotional factor to this brand new Doctor who seems almost overjoyed by life, which for Doctor Who to work, there's almost got to be a darker element there, and we can see it coming out when the Doctor is talking about Time Lords and Gallifrey and how he's lost his people, but due to his last incarnation seeking help and therapy and relaxing, he sort of got over that and worked out his issues, or that's what is inferred from the last episode, The Giggle, and this series. But as well, I can hear people screaming, why would the Toymaker, the Maestro, and all these incredibly powerful, universe-destroying villains be terrified of Susan, but not the Doctor? Now, I also believe that not only has she just witnessed the genocide of the Time Lords and somehow escaped, she's built up with rage about the Doctor and she's doing anything to get revenge on him, but also she was ravaged by the Time War. She is scarred by the universe's biggest war, the last great Time War, and in there, she saw what the Doctor could do, adding to the built-up rage she feels towards the genocide of the Time Lords, thinking that why couldn't he have done something to save them if that's what he could have done in the Time War. I think this would build it up as a character who is seeking revenge and won't stop until she gets it. Now this is a deviation from Susan's character, but it works. She has witnessed the last great Time War. She's witnessed the genocide of the Time Lords, and she's seen what the Doctor can do, and he did nothing for the genocide. This would have an incredible emotional factor to it, dredging up the Time War and reintroducing it to a brand new audience through a different lens. Through the lens of a heartbroken relative that witnessed what her grandfather had to do, and then he didn't turn up when she needed him most. And I think this is incredibly compelling and would genuinely work. And if it doesn't, I will always headcanon it. There is a reason they have explained the genocide of the Time Lords and Susan so much. And I think this is why. Or maybe Susan will just be loosely related somehow. Maybe she's related to Ruby. Maybe she's just going to appear in the show. Who knows? But I really hope it's this. I think it would be really cool to see something like this. It would reintroduce elements of the Time War scars, and it would harden this Doctor, because I don't think this Doctor will always be this joyful or this happy. I think this Doctor will start off as that, and as his era progresses, I think he's going to get sadder, and be riddled with more trauma and more tragedies than other Doctors. And I think that's going to make him an incredibly compelling Doctor, and going to make some incredibly compelling stories.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. Goodbye, Susan.
But genuinely comment your opinions down below. Do you think that Ruby and Susan are loosely connected? And that's why Ruby brought in the snow, because maybe, like Susan, she might be telepathic and have mind abilities on some level. Do you think that Susan is the one who waits, or do you think it's a bunch of rubbish and it's going to be a brand new character? Please let me know, because I'm really interested to hear other theories and other thoughts about this, because I think this is one of the most interesting and mysterious eras of the show that we've got in a while, and I think it's great. But I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next Doctor Who related video.
Oh, but he is recognizing me. Are you not gepleased, Herr Doctor? To see me again after so many years.